Reload. Ready?
Yeah.
You look ready.
And I'm ready. It's Sunday night. It's time for At Week's End, the spoiler-filled look back at this week in comics news and more. And it's a special night. It's the first Sunday of the month. That means the Legion Loot winner will be drawn tonight, and we are celebrating none other than the Return of the King with Aquaman. And we're going to get into all that right after this. What is going on, Paul?
What's going on? I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. Back again for another week. You didn't wait on me to ask. What's going on? I'm doing well. How are you?
Yeah, I know what your next question was going to be.
Yeah. It was next up on the list for sure. For sure.
Look at me like this makes sense.
It doesn't.
Doesn't have to, though. But we're getting into some new comics. It's a smaller week for comics. Mm-hmm. It's fifth week. They need a nickname for that. There's no nickname for it. They just call it what it is. And maybe we should work on that. Come up with a nickname for the fifth week of the month.
It used to be the Superman Man of Tomorrow week.
Was that what it was?
That was the fifth title back in the 90s that the DC put out, and they put it out quarterly.
Oh, okay.
With the fifth week.
That's pretty cool. I did not know that.
Mm-hmm.
That's super cool. But we're going to get into some stuff, get into some Superman Man of Tomorrow quarterly conversations. We got some DCU news that dropped, some slim pickings for the reading, but some reading and give away some stuff tonight for the Legionnaires. So a big shout out and thank you to all the Legionnaires. Don't forget it is MegaCon coming up this weekend, so check out Big Time Collectibles if you're into retailer exclusives. They got a lot of shiny stuff. If you need anything cleaned or pressed, look no further. Justin Comics has got you covered. You can also submit to the grading companies for you if you want to get your books encapsulated. Also, ABX Comics and Games. There it is. If you need a comic shop and you don't have one, or you don't like to get out to and you want one to mail you your pool list, ABX has got you covered. And also check out their Facebook page. Is the best way to get in contact with them to set this stuff up. And there's also a huge collection that just came through that some of it I've posted over there. Got it up on the ABX page, and you can reach out and pick up some of that if you're interested. A lot of cool X-Men, some Spider-Man. So there's just a lot of stuff, mainly Marvel stuff, but some good Marvel stuff. That it does exist. Good Marvel does exist. You just need a time machine to get to it. But that's neither here nor there. But awesome stuff over there. And I should have the video coming out this Wednesday of the ABX acquiring the collection, going through it, and I've been helping Paul out, just getting it all rebagged and board and priced out and get it so it can get out quicker to sell. But some cool stuff for sure. So you might want to check that out. I know a couple of people in the community have reached out and picked some stuff up. So yeah, good stuff there. Say hey to Las Cruces' early comment fell off. First comment showing is TM Nerdy. I was actually on this stream, like setting it up this morning, and Las Cruces said hello, and I'm like, oh my god. I responded back, hey, I don't know if you saw it, but TM Nerdy, what is going on? Got Las Cruces, hello from New York. What's good, brothers and sisters? Brother John is in the building. Hello. Whack Comics, I'm here for the Cockeyed Superman talk, and we got you covered. We're going to be talking about Cockeyed Superman. Lee, I hope you've been doing good, homie. I miss you. I miss your smile. I miss your face. I miss your face with or without eyebrows. Either way. The Adventurous One is in the building. Evening. Oh, still no running water. Oh, my gosh.
I know.
That's
been on back a week, at least a week,
yeah.
Right? He was.
I think 2 weeks now, right? Maybe.
Remember last week he was saying about having a plumber coming over or something. So
I guess they didn't make it, or they made it and just said, Heroes for Hires in the building. What's going on, Matt? Random Rips. Hello to Kev. Kev started a trivia game show last Thursday night. It was a blast. He was using all kinds of like advanced software stuff where like he just kind of hits play and he's able to sit back and pull up the question, and it was like 10 questions in a category, and it just automatically pulls like who gets, like it's whoever gets the most out of the 10 right kind of thing. And if everyone gets all of them right, it's who averaged the fastest with their answers and stuff. But it was really fun. He did like comic books, old golden age comic strip category, artists and stuff. It was really fun. It was very impressive software. It was a good
Nice.
time hanging out over there. So be sure to check him out. I don't know how often he's going to do them, if it's every week or every
He
other
said
week.
Monday nights right after Council of Comics.
Well, that answered that question.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. There you go. What time does Council of Comics end on Monday night?
Don't recall.
I don't either.
Probably varies from week to week too. So
Got a 4-month member milestone chat from Heroes from Hire. The Adventures One dropping that 19-month in, and Mark still puts up with me. I put up with everybody, my friend. If someone's willing to put up with me, it's only fair. It is only fair. Kenny B, what is happening? Hope you're doing good, buddy. What if Cockeyed Superman is bad at playing darts? Yo, can you imagine if you fired up the heat vision with those things? Collateral damage for sure. 8 to 9, 15. That's a wide range right there. My show starts. That's like the cable company. I'll be there promptly between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m.
I think he's saying their show runs from 8 to 9:15.
Oh, so I was saying it gets over with between 8 and 9:15. That'd have been rough. But also, don't forget we're doing the Legion Loot giveaway before we leave tonight. The big Aquaman pack celebrating the return of the King. He's back. We'll look at all that here in just a little bit. We're live at 9 Eastern and start when the council ends. Well, there's some fun stuff to talk about until then. It wasn't a massive week of new news, but there's some rumors that are like rolling around and some stuff that's actually pretty exciting, and I hope that should be true. And I got a couple things teed up in here to run by you. First one that I saw from numerous sources, and I don't know why or what sparked it, but the Hush rumor started circulating heavily. Like somebody had asked one of the production people from the Thorn if a certain bridge was named the Elliott Bridge intentionally, and they're like, yes, that was very intentional. And obviously, from the first Batman movie, we know that there were like Easter eggs for Hush in there. Elliott family was mentioned in that little video clip that the Riddler put together. It had Hush written on it. And now they're seeing rumors that Kit Harington is in talks to portray Hush in the Batman Part 2. And I think that would be a fantastic villain for them to use, like with a more grounded approach to all this and everything.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of funny. It's like he kind of, in that picture on the right, he looks like he has 2 red bat ears.
He does. They went to Mickey Mouse Land and they didn't have the mouse ones. But yeah, that would be awesome. It's for the Legion tier. The Legion tier. It's morphin' time. What's going on, Steve? Here's the update. Plumber came over and told us every pipe, including the main, are destroyed. Been waiting on a quote from him, but still nothing. So, yep, it's been 2 weeks now. Call another plumber. Good grief. What happened? Was it like cold weather damage or something? Yeah, Mr. Freeze would be another good one. That would be interesting to see how they portray Mr. Freeze in this world. Really, it's like any of the villains. It just seems like it'd be wildly interesting to see the Matt Reeves version of him.
Right.
But I'm all in for Hush, to be honest with you. If I had to pick one, I kind of want to do Hush just because we haven't done it before.
Yeah, and it seems as though Joker's the most famous, obviously, but from a character standpoint, it seems as though Hush is the most personal to Bruce Wayne.
Oh, big time.
So,
and I don't know how big they could potentially make this Batman movie, but obviously the comic book itself, the Hush run, was huge. Like featured like the entire Rogues Gallery, pretty much. It was wild. Hush would be more believable. Yeah,
definitely. You could do a lot more with what do they call it? Not the special effects, but the in-camera effects. Practical effects.
Yeah, the visual effects.
Yeah,
it'd be interesting. I'd like it. Yep. Let's see what else. This was a big one. You saw where this guy, never heard of him before. Actor Harry Goodwins. You heard of this guy?
I have not until I saw that post before. Yeah.
So apparently he posted this post that got screen grabbed, and it said, "In 2025, I have big moves. It's happening." And he also tagged James Gunn. He also took down the post, but it seemed like we had like maybe a Tom Holland situation here, where you're spilling the beans. I've never heard of this guy, but if I saw that picture over there by Paul, just
looks like Ollie Queen.
That's Green Arrow. Like if I saw that just hanging in the mall, like walking by a shop, I'm like, yeah, they got Green Arrow right there. Like that. That's Green Arrow. Like the chiseled features, the obviously the facial hair, the blonde. Like that's Green Arrow. Like that's insane. So that's potentially good news. So of course the rumor mill started spinning, and they're stating that he's reportedly in talks with DC Studios to portray Oliver Queen in Green Arrow and James Gunn's new DCU. Yeah, I don't know who this guy is.
He looks like, I bet he was on the show Vikings. He definitely has a Viking look.
Green Arrow based on long bow hunters would be great. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Let's see what he was in.
Like I'm looking in a AR said it's like I'm looking in a mirror. Joker for Batman 3. I have a feeling we will continue to get multiple villains per movie. Two-Face could be believable too. And Bane. Christopher Nolan did it just fine in similar universe. 100% agree. Yeah, I don't think we need to be limited to just one either. And a villain like Hush with Thomas Elliott, it'd be cool if he's like pulling strings and like deal with another rogue and kind of thing. But is anybody in the chat familiar with whoever Harry Goodwins is?
Says he was in Sunset Drive, The Gentleman,
the movie or the show?
The Gentleman, the show. Contrariety, Journey to Hell. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with him. So he seems like not new, but semi-new. Yeah, dude, that'd be awesome. And it kind of reminded me of the CW effect, you know, like, I mean, we have a Batman with Matt Reeves Batman, but we don't have a DCU shared universe Batman. And Batman was always kind of like one of those overly protected characters. There hasn't, since Adam West, there hasn't been a live action Batman TV show.
Right.
They just don't do it. Superman stays on television. Other characters appear all the time. Batman was never in Smallville, despite Cyborg, Impulse, Aquaman, Green Arrow. They used Green Arrow instead of Batman even.
Right. Bruce Wayne appeared in Titans, but in costume, very like a real quick flashback, and you really couldn't tell who it was. So,
well, he actually appeared in Titans and did the Bat-2C and everything as Bruce Wayne. You remember that episode?
Yeah, he was the guy. He was he played
from Game of Thrones,
and he was also in Silo. He was the doctor in Silo.
Yeah. He was Rebecca Ferguson's
Rebecca's
dad.
father. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, terrible Bruce Wayne, fantastic and everything else. He was just having to really fight that British accent away in Titans.
Yep.
It was wild. CW Arrow was not Green Arrow at all. I know people like it, but that wasn't Ollie. I don't know. I think they did a decent job. I mean, it was Smallville though. You know what I mean? Oh, the CW Arrow or the Smallville? Like we had Justin
talking about Arrow, I think.
Yeah.
What's his name? Can't think of his name now.
I don't
Quickly,
know.
I forget now.
Good God, Stephen Amell.
Stephen Amell going to be in Suits LA.
Yeah, I think it was pretty decent. Early seasons again, like when it came to Arrowverse, I bailed after the third season. Caught little pieces here and there, but I watched 1 through 3 like as they aired. Like really enjoyed them.
And it's funny because I think I watched a little bit longer, but after like season 4 or 5, the only time I watched it was as if it was part of the crossover because I wanted to see what they would do with the crossovers.
Did the same thing. The Damien Dark season was the last one that I watched, and I enjoyed it. But it was you feel it like kind of just getting long in the tooth at that point. He was playing more of a Batman type. Yeah, I can see that for sure. For sure. I think that's kind of what they probably wanted to play it like that. And in all fairness, that's what Green Arrow is. I mean, he's found ways to set himself apart, but ultimately that's what a lot of characters are. I mean, he had the Arrow plane, the Arrow cave, the young sidekick in red and yellow. Yeah, that doesn't count. Just like that kid in that bad suit standing up top of the building. That was an odd choice. Terrible looking suit too. Lacked personality of Ollie. Yo, so man, we were talking about it last. We were talking about it last week or on the DC deep dive with the Green Arrow comic now, and that's kind of like where I don't have too much problems with different interpretation of characters as long as they're kind of. I don't know. Sometimes they just miss the mark, but there's been so many different takes of characters in comic books, depending on who the writer is, where they slant the personality one way or another. The Arrow that I watched, granted, I didn't watch nearly all of it, but it was fine. That was back when you were still like flip flopping between the island and real time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Golly, who was it? Minute, how do you say his name? Minute Bano or whatever that played.
Manu Bennett.
Dude, he was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Playing
Yeah.
Deathstroke.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that.
He was good in Spartacus too.
Yeah, Crixus.
Crixus, yeah.
Yeah, as long as he had his loincloth on, I was good. Like all you had to do is wear a loincloth, and I had a hard time even getting that part of it done. Big news. Green Lantern, The Lanterns at HBO is officially filming now. It is underway. It is happening. And some actress who's a part of it playing a character named Zoe.
That's what it looks like.
She says it's the best writing that she has ever read. Who are the showrunners of this again?
I know Tom King is one of them.
Yeah, but I mean, like they got
Damon Lindelof, who did Watchmen.
There it is. They got Damon. Of course, it should be good writing. Right. They got the A team writing this thing. Mm-hmm. So I'm like super excited for this. She went on to write this whole thing. This is the first script that I've ever read that I understand why there's an NDA. So that part of her statement was like super interesting because when this all started, when James Gunn made that announcement and he named like, we're going to do Creature Commandos, and then the real start to this is going to be Superman Legacy, and then we're going to do a Lantern show on HBO, and that's where we'll introduce you to what's happening in the greater DCU. So that's wildly interesting that part of her statement is now I understand why NDAs exist.
Right.
So that kind of lines up with what James Gunn was saying with that. So it kind of leads to a potential what I'm hoping, and I know it's been done already, but I'm hoping it's New Gods or Parallax, one of the two. New Gods that we've done before. If you like, we know they're investigating a death. I'm leaning toward it's going to be the death of Guy Gardner because that's why else would you bring the Lanterns in, or death of a new god on Earth, which is an issue for everyone else on New Genesis and Apocalypse.
Right. There's also a rumor that it's going to involve a town where the inhabitants of a town suddenly gain superpowers.
The whole town?
Yeah.
Boo. Boo.
It's just a rumor.
Know. Man. Dude, I really hope this stuff is good. This is what I have the most faith in is this show. Out of the stuff that they're currently working on, the Superman movie, the Supergirl movie, which I think the Supergirl movie is going to blow all of our balls off. And I think this Lantern show, I mean, it's HBO to begin with. Like the fact that the DC slate will be releasing on HBO is already a massive head start to most anybody else. Nobody does television like HBO does. And the fact that they got...
It's not television.
It's not just television. It's HBO. But massive head start. So, man, and the fact that we got Aaron Pierre's Jon Stewart just... That felt like a huge win that hasn't, like, died down yet. Like, I'm so excited. Dude, this is our first time getting Jon Stewart.
Mm-hmm.
You think we'll get Joe Mullins or... anyone else added to the roster?
I don't know. I'm gonna say probably not to start anyway. Maybe if it's truly gonna be Lanterns and they do like a big they do like a big scene with lots of different lanterns, we may get some Easter eggs where we can pick out certain lanterns or whatever.
Yeah, and I wouldn't expect to see them in their suits too often. I don't think it's going to be like one of those situations where they're just kind of like in their suits all the time kind of thing.
Right.
Like they're in the middle of a fight or something. But I think that's all right. Like, I mean, if you see it at least like once an episode kind of thing, or if you skip one episode, it's projected to be 8 episodes. You skip one of the episodes with no suits and the next one's like full suit heavy. Like for me with this stuff, if I see him in the suit all the time, it could potentially like, you get a little bit used to it. The only time I think we've seen a character in suit more than out of suit for almost the whole movie was the Batman, the Matt Reeves one. He was just Batman almost the whole time.
Right.
It worked out pretty good for that. But yeah, I hope they get it balanced well. They did. He did good with Watchmen. That was handled
It was
superbly.
incredible.
Yeah, Pops just watched that a few weeks ago. Blew his balls off. Yeah, it's shockingly good. Allah Chiefs y nada más. Can you translate that?
I want to say, "Hail to the Chiefs, no more."
They don't
Marcus,
play
is
till
that right?
next week, right? What is hala?
I don't
That's
know.
no Chiefs and no more.
Not a Moss is no more.
Yeah. I don't know. Marcus, we don't speak French. If Warner Brothers could stop giving
Or Spanish, which is what that was.
Linden off work so I can get Star Trek 4 in the Kelvin universe, that would be great.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I agree with that. That would be great to see. As long as it doesn't feel like Star Trek Beyond would be good. Hashtag Red Kingdom. Put some cream on it. I like the stream. I like you. Appreciate it, Marcus. Yeah, don't forget to hit that thumbs up if you haven't already. I'm excited about the Green Lantern show. Yeah, same here. Godzilla -1 is one best international film. Awesome, awesome. Brian LCS is in the building. What is going on, homie? Hey, Cliff, what is happening? Hope you're doing good. If I was a Green Lantern, I'd probably be doing stuff like eating cereal in that suit. Too cool not to wear. Yeah, it really is. Wonder if it takes. I wonder if how much energy and effort it takes to keep it on, though. How much willpower it takes to keep it going, because it is on a battery. Spanish for come on,
Chiefs, and nothing more. I had 3 out of 4 words right.
There you go. And he said, "I stole it
from Real Madrid."
I am not fluent in Spanish. Dude, I assumed you were.
Exactly. Come on.
No, assumed you were, Steve. You're leaving us hanging. And then the actor who's playing Sinestro put out a statement that letting everyone know that we got 8 episodes in this, and that while he's not familiar with comic book movies, this is him like stepping into a completely unknown realm. He's super excited to do it. And yeah, I'm excited. We got Sinestro in it. That's a big thing. I'm assuming he's not necessarily going to be our big villain. He's going to be suspect number 1 is what I think is going to happen.
Right.
Get a dead person and shot. Shocking. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. It's panning out. So let's get into it. So between last week and this week, a new Superman trailer dropped, and it's not a full new trailer. It's the same trailer. It's a TV spot where they just put a little bit of footage in different order, might add a little bit of footage or take some away. And we got our first shot of Superman flying proper. And I got the clip of it here. Let's look at it again for those that want to use your other eyes. So this blew up the internet, and I think this is very smart marketing with this. What's up? Yeah. You're off tomorrow, right? Yes. You want me to wake you up that early?
Yes. I have to get up so I can get Monkey up, but I need my few minutes before I get her up.
Before you wake the beast?
Yeah.
Okay.
To get her ready for picture day.
Oh, picture day. Got you. That makes sense.
On Tuesday, it's Finn's picture day.
Oh. Picture day tomorrow.
Nice.
So Kyle's got to wake up at dark 30 to woosah before trying to get Monkey ready for picture day.
So she doesn't have that hair that sticks out this way, right?
Yeah, that's only when it's dad day with her. Yeah. Kyle does all kinds of cool little intricate little things with her hair, and Monkey loves doing it, but she's a real life see you next Tuesday in the morning sometimes. She just ain't with it. But one more time. The internet exploded, as it has with everything that's been announced with this movie, and the timing of all this stuff is flawless. It's keeping this movie ridiculously relevant. It's keeping it trending. People are talking about it. People are excited about it. But from the very start of James Gunn taking over the DCU, there is a massive online wave of negativity. Whether it's justified or not is not the conversation we're trying to have. It exists is the point. And the people that are ready to be negative no matter what, they were just handed a freebie with that clip because
they thought it was like Sonic's nose.
So this came out since before last week, because we talked about this last week. Everyone was saying the CGI looks bad, and we said last week, I pointed out like, yo, we've seen this camera shot before. Said it last Sunday that's not CG. Everyone's making fun of this guy's real life face, and sure as hell, Monday morning or Monday James Gunn put up a post saying, "Dude, there is absolutely zero CGI in his face. People's faces can look different when you put a wide angle lens up close. The background plate is Slavbard is 100% real, as is David." So apparently, this guy really is flying around the Arctic now. But it's a filmed background, and it's a person on a gimbal or something in front of a pretty much the same exact way that they filmed Terminator 2. You put actors in front of a moving picture screen. They still use that same method today to get real life on real life kind of thing. And there's no CGI here. So what people immediately shifted gears to and have been leaning on ever since is his cock eye. So one eye is looking straight at you, the viewer, and the other eye is looking at whatever's above you, the viewer. And it's undeniable as they caught him looking at two different things at the same time, and people have been like just criticizing the hell out of it and making all kinds of funny memes and stuff. And I can't blame them. This seemed like a huge oversight. I don't know who watched this, approved this, because it's a simple fix.
Yeah, but it's going to be 2 seconds in a movie.
They used it for a
Right.
promo to push the movie. It's tainting public opinion of it is what's happening. Sometimes it feels like comic book fans are more trouble than they're worth. 1000%. It sure can. First time I saw it, felt the face looked weird. The more I watch it, the least it bothers me. I'm right there with you. Like it's not bothering me. It's one of these situations though where I want this stuff to succeed so bad, and for it to succeed, it has to be good. And man, just the people that are ready to tear it down, it should be obvious. Like, because this is literally the intro. Like, let's show him fly for the first time. Like that's a wild decision. Like, and I know like people can't help how their eyes look, but this image was going to get frozen and a picture taken of it, whether he had an eye thing or not. Like, I would have been one of the people that done it. It would have been on thumbnails. I would be sharing it, which I did. The second that dropped, I shared it out on my social media stuff without even noticing it, because I didn't notice it. It didn't look weird to me. I didn't even see it until people pointed it out. It was Nick Skits and Comics who was dying laughing the first time he watched it, because he just happened to see it.
Right.
Like it just caught his eye. I think the right eye caught Nick's eye. But it was wild. What's going on, Trev?
The right icon, Nick's eye.
Yeah, people made a full meal out of the outrage. Conspiracy to make this fail is 100% real. It really is.
Yeah,
it
exactly.
really is.
You know what? I would, first of all, I would find it hard to believe that people are not going to go see it because of a 2-second clip in the middle of, in this. Two, if it wasn't, the people who tore it down because of this, if it wasn't this, it would have been something else.
Yeah, that's definitely for sure. And that's kind of my point where, like, if it's not going to be this, it's going to be something else. So don't give them this. But I mean, they I don't know if they're thinking about it that deep, and if they're not, they really should be, because we've seen countless times, and this is crazy to think that could happen to something as big as Superman. But we've seen it countless times where the power of the internet absolutely affects the box office performance. Good night, baby. You got to get to sleep. You have picture day tomorrow. You got to get up early. You tell Paul good night.
Good night, Paul.
Good night. AR says you can't even tell if they removed his mustache.
Yeah, this has absolutely been done before. We've seen it in James Gunn's own Guardians 3, Blue Beetle, Black Adam. The first thing I thought of was Black Adam, because we got a lot of cool shots like that, especially the one when he was chasing down that little speeder bike that we thought the kid was in it. He was like going fast and reaching and stuff. But it's wild. I don't want to see these, and I don't even want to call them, because I don't even think they're like Snyder heads. Man. I'm a diehard Snyderverse fan. Diehard Snyderverse fan. Love Zack Snyder as a director, and I'm excited for this. And I don't understand how there's anybody out there that still thinks by campaigning against what's coming, you will somehow bring Snyder back. Like, it is so far of him coming back to make DC movies. It's even funny.
That ship has sailed and gone around the planet once.
Yeah, like he's clearly working on original projects and stuff, which they performed well. Like, despite like reviews or whatever, the Rebel Moon stuff performed really well for Netflix, and he's got the animated show coming out. So like, If you're a Snyder fan, like I watch his other stuff as well, but I can't stand this like one or the other thing.
Mm.
Just doesn't work out. Doesn't help anybody. Everywhere I go, I see the face of joy on everyone around me, so this seemed natural. Man, the chat's jumping. Trying to see what Cliff was just saying. And I missed it. That shot has been used in a lot of scenes recently, and to be honest, this one does a better job keeping his head closer, looking to proper proportion. It really does. Like the Blue Beetle one and the Black Adam one looked like they were on like a fisheye lens almost. It looked weird. I don't know how people couldn't think that. The angle needed adjusted. Yeah, I don't know. It looked fine to me. I felt like I was on a ride. Comic nerds have such weird boners for controversy. Yeah, speaking of, we've got circumstances in the chat. Watch it. Hopefully they do fix it in the rest of the shots that don't look this bad. I remember Justice League 2017. Yeah, dude, the theatrical cut was just, man, I enjoyed seeing the Justice League on the screen though, but I could see everything wrong with it. But that Snyder cut of Justice League is just, that's god tier superhero films. Dude, that movie was like it.
Mm.
I still rewatch that movie. It was just, it was it. We watch it even when we go on vacation. Watch it every year on vacation. I just think that was it. I don't expect, and this is just me. I mean, everyone's got their own take, but I don't expect anything that comes out of the DCU to be better than the Snyder cut for me, for what I was wanting out of a movie and for what I was given by the filmmaker and the cast and crew. But that's okay. That doesn't mean I'm not going to enjoy or really love stuff, but that's
Right.
the Mount Everest.
If
the next trailer is as good or even better than the last one, all of this will be forgotten by the vast majority. Oh yeah, 100%. But I think it's kind of good. What if they cockeyed him just to get it trending, just to get it moving, just to get it going? That would have been a terribly mean thing to do to David.
That would be.
Like he's on the gimbal and someone's just snapping off to the side just to get his eye to wander. We need this shot. Because apparently they're not going to do a trailer at the Super Bowl, which is this coming Sunday.
Weren't they supposed to do something in the Puppy Bowl?
Yeah,
I feel like you're the last person that should know where the Super Bowl is.
Well, I know when the Super Bowl is because we counter program it.
Exactly.
That's what we do over here. We counter program whatever the primetime show of the season is on HBO, plus foosball. Yeah. And I keep up with the Super Bowl because historically that's where I would go to see trailers for the first time, but the internet has ruined that for us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, they did announce they were going to be doing something with the Puppy Bowl. I think that what is it? Crypto is supposed to make an appearance with the Puppy Bowl. Yeah, the one from the trailer. Crypto somehow won the world over instantly.
Because y'all love the little special needs Super Bowl.
Yeah, we got one. Yeah, I get thinking it's cute, but man, it went from people being like, "Yeah, I'm aware of crypto," to "Crypto is my favorite." This, well, we don't be a CJ. Yeah.
Sorry,
We don't speak of the Justice League.
snuggling with his superpowers.
Yeah,
That's a win.
that's a win until he gets on your leg. Then you got a broken femur. Yeah, I was watching some of the comparison videos of the Aquaman footage from the Justice League, and the Justice League, and there's definitely some different edits to it for sure. Minus the red filter. Like I understood doing that red sky thing, like red skies at DC are historic, like apocalyptic stuff happening, but it was wild. But still, to this day, like I think like the coolest Aquaman thing we saw was definitely the fight with Black Manta in Aquaman 2, which I'll share a clip of.
More blood? Go get it!
And it didn't stop. It kept going.
Right. that first clip was very much like the final scene between Lex and Superman in Superman and Lois. Right to the chest.
I cut it out for time purposes, but that starts with Black Manta with the knife over Arthur, and then like as he's coming down, the trident comes across, and Aquaman gives out like this yell just straight from the bottom of his gut, just get away from my son. And it's like, my God. But man, it was just it was such a fun movie. Something about I just love Aquaman. But that Steppenwolf scene in Metropolis was amazing. Scary mofo. Yeah, absolutely. When he came down inside the Kryptonian ship to retrieve the mother box. I don't think you might be right now, Trev. Cold as balls. I'm still at work. I do love Zack Snyder's Justice League. Very goated. Wish we got that in theaters. Yeah, absolutely. I wish they would just like do like a limited theater engagement here. They've done it a handful of times, but it's always like
in LA. Yeah.
In LA and stuff. And he ran an event where he showed the trilogy, and like he was selling tickets and raising money for the suicide prevention thing that he does in honor of his daughter and stuff. And it sold out within seconds, like of going on sale. Like it was like the dude's fan base is massive and super supportive, and they show up and they show out, and you got to respect that. And then they act like total turds on the internet and just make it this like there ain't no reason to go that far. Right. Like respect the dude. Like I'm sure he's out there saying good things about like the upcoming Superman and looking forward to it and this and that, and like follow suit. Would y'all hurry up and watch Severance already? Much more interesting than talking about Snyder for the 9,000th time. I'll never not talk about Snyder now. What's Severance on again? Apple?
It's on Apple, yeah.
Yeah. Well, blame Apple. Don't blame me. They limit what devices you can watch stuff on. These people just need to learn their comics. You guys don't remember the famous 1970s issue where Superman explained he has chameleon eye power? I can follow you and your rocket, Luthor. Yo, I saw a hilarious meme where someone drew Clark from when he first woke up in Snyder Cut, and he's holding on to Cyborg, and Aquaman and Flash is running around him, and he just does that turn and look. And then they drew the same thing, but with David Cornsweet not turning but looking. It was hilarious. It was hilarious. What is going on? Ruby G is in the building. Some people say the Snyder Cut was just the same movie Joss already did, and that is why some people are really disappointed in it. They said there's no difference. Well, some people, same situation. Some people just want to hate. Snyder has plenty of haters, just like the Snyder people are hating on other stuff.
Yeah, but
What's going on, Brad?
If you think they were the same movies, then you didn't watch both movies.
Yeah, one is literally twice as long as the other one. Twice. Not one single second of something that Joss Whedon filmed was in the Snyder Cut. Not 1 second of it. Didn't use a single frame that Joss Whedon recorded. Bro, differences between the Joss version to the Zack version. Get that. Yeah, exactly. No theater wants to run a 4-hour movie. The theater loses money, unfortunately. I didn't think about that. No one tell James Cameron.
Right.
Because his clocked in at over 3.5 with Avatar 2. Avatar 3 is supposed to be shorter, unfortunately. But
they'll run a 3 or 4 hour movie if they can guarantee that they're going to sell seats.
Yeah, this can't be good for the projectors to go that long.
Right.
Those things have to get hot, I imagine. Especially if you're doing IMAX and stuff. And
right.
I never thought about that, like the hours you're burning up on their equipment.
Yeah. But it's mostly because, I mean, there's that, but it's even more because if I can run a movie 8 times in a day as opposed to 4 times in a day, I'm going to make more money.
Yeah. Like you said, unless you're filling it up. Yeah. Or unless there's idiots like me that'll go in. If you make a long movie, you're more likely to go see it more times.
Yeah. I don't know, but I remember when I was in school, on Saturday nights, the theater that I went to, they used to actually show you could pay for 1 movie and see 2 movies. You would see like the movie of the week for this week, and you would see next week's movie a week early, and you'd only pay 1 price, and you'd see 2 movies.
See, Evil saw it in theaters. That's crazy. Okay, so projectors ain't the issue.
Yeah,
Had an intermission.
It's more how many times can they play it?
Yeah. I love the Snyder Cut, but it does have some unnecessary scenes. The scene with Irish and the Norwegian singer, among others. Yeah, that's super fair. And he talked about why he did that, why it's 4.5 hours. Because of the unique situation of going back and like piecing together his movie. where he would normally shoot some stuff and put some stuff on the cutting room floor. He said, "We're not doing that." Because a lot of times movies will come out, you'll have an extended cut, or you'll have deleted scenes. He's like, "We're just going for broke. We're going to put it all in there." Because it was just at that point, it was just this is for the fans, for the people who made it possible. Really,
The movie's themselves. Yes, although I do remember a time. I remember a time when before there was a PG-13 rating.
well, that didn't start till Indiana Jones because of Indiana Jones, wasn't it? Last
Something
Crusade
like that, yeah.
or Goonie. I think Goonies was one of the movies that got the conversation talking about it. But if I'm not mistaken, and I very well could be, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade was the first PG-13 movie. Could be mistaken, though. Speaking of comic movies, I will be at special screen for Captain America Brave New World on Wednesday afternoon. Don't worry, I won't spoil it for you. I don't think you could spoil it. As long as the Hulk is fighting Captain America, I mean that's a good shift in conversation. Anthony Mackie put his whole ass shield in his mouth this week, unfortunately. Did you see that?
We were talking about Superman. I thought we would just roll into the.
We'll get back to it.
Okay.
This is
yes.
up here now.
Yes.
You saw that where
He got a little bit in trouble.
Yeah. I don't know who he got in trouble with, but he definitely got in trouble with the internet. I'm still going to see this movie. I'm still excited for it. I'm still a big Anthony Mackie fan, but God, I just wanted to shake him. I don't know what he was on about. He was at some event, just like where he's up on stage, sitting in a chair, talking to the audience, making statements of how Captain America doesn't represent America. He represents like the good in people and the dream that people have. And I was like, you mean like the American dream? Like it's literally in the name. And it's like what I think it was Sandman Mystery Theater Comics pointed out, that Mark Miller quote from the Ultimates: "The A on my head doesn't stand for France."
Yeah, exactly.
Like, yeah, he doesn't.
We don't call you Captain anywhere.
Yeah, like he most definitely represents and stands for America, and he doesn't stand for the crooked politicians or the unfortunate things could be happening at any moment in time in the country. He stands for what it should be, the best of it. He's meant to be the best of it, and you should aspire to be him, to be make it the best it can be. That's he's the beacon to follow, much like Superman is for humanity in DC. That's what Captain America is. He got in trouble with the people that didn't like him or him having a movie to begin with. Yeah, they again, giving people ammo. See back there, giving people that are just waiting for ammo. Like I don't know who he was talking to, and people, place, and things matter kind of thing. He could have been talking to an audience of people who hate America and had no plan in seeing the movie. And he could have been trying to talk them into seeing it. I don't know. All I know is that was terrible PR moment.
Yeah. It's one of those, if you give me a hard object, don't blame me if I throw it at you.
Yeah. Red Dawn was the first PG-13. He doesn't represent the government or the man in the office. He represents the American dream and the ideal of America that can forge its own destiny and freedom. 1,000%. 1,000%. Chris Evans said the same thing, and nobody was clutching their pearls over then. I didn't hear Chris Evans say it. I didn't see Chris Evans say it. And if he did, I'd say the same thing. It's a stupid thing to say. Stupid. Stupid. Yeah, Cap isn't a sellout like U.S. agent. That guy would work with a crooked politician of today. Didn't Cap rock with Hydra for a while?
Yeah. Oh, the Nick Spencer run, wasn't it?
Oh, God. Ugh. Another thing is out on Amazon, and DVH keeps mentioning it, but there's a new thing out called Selling Superman. It's a new documentary. You heard of it?
Yes.
Have you watched it?
I have not.
Me neither. But there is one that we are aware of called Suing Superman.
Yes. Yes.
Big news here.
Right. Very big
Lawsuits
news.
aims to ground Superman in major international markets. The state of superhero co-creator Joseph Schuster alleges overseas copyright infringement against Warner Brothers Discovery and DC Comics. Paul, explain this to us. What's happening?
So, according to British law, apparently a copyright transfers to the estate of someone 25 years after their death. And so that means that what the estate is saying is that in countries that follow British law, Joe Shuster still owns the copyright to Superman, or the Joe Shuster estate owns the copyright to Superman, and they have been paid nothing from Warner Brothers for it overseas. So they sued. They went in a court in New York to sue. The lawyer says basically he's not trying to stop necessarily the release of the movie. He just wants to have them do what's right. But my first question when I read this was, if you're talking about British law, why are you suing in an American court? Is the American court the place to determine what British law is? Or does that happen because you're suing an American corporation?
Company.
Right. But now you're asking American courts to rule on British law. I would think it would be litigated in some place that is British law. So that was my first question when I read it. The other thing that I was wondering is, and obviously we don't know any of the background on it, but did the estate of Joe Shuster go to Warner Brothers before they went to court and say, hey, this is how we're feeling, can we work something out? And did Warner Brothers just say, screw you, and that's why they went to court? Or did Joe Shuster's estate just file the court case, and that's how Warner Brothers found out about it, from the court case?
Do we know the answer to that?
I do not know the answer to that. Because to me,
how could this potentially affect the actual release of this film?
It would not affect it in the United States, but it would affect it in Canada, in Great Britain, in Australia, because they all use British law.
Why is Canada using British law?
Because it used to be a British colony, and they still
So did
and
we.
if I don't know if you noticed or not, I don't know, but they have the British monarch on their money.
Yeah.
So
we should get George Washington on their money so they can release Superman.
Well, soon it'll be the 51st state. Won't have to worry about it.
Oh man, the news is so wild right now,
isn't it?
The Terror Force have begun.
Yes.
All of a sudden, not to get political, but all of a sudden they're sounding like our country. We got to put Canada first, and that this is going to be interesting. Right. But yeah, they don't go through this for each Superman movie. I thought the lawsuit is just to ensure they get every dollar they're entitled to. And to that point, I don't know, because again, like we said, it's based on this 25-year gap with what? From
the death of the original owner.
Schuster.
From the right. So they're saying that that Joe Shuster still owned the copyright in anywhere that was subject to British law, and now 25 years later it goes to the estate.
Yeah, well, I fully agree with that. I fully agree that not that that's right or wrong, but I think that's what I would like to see, because it's one of those points of like pride when you open up anything with Superman in it, and it says it always has that special notation that proudly presents with special arrangement with the Siegel and Schuster family, because the whole history with how they got hosed so bad, and they're like, Superman is such a cultural anomaly without whom like none of this ever exists, and they deserve to never work a day in their life, in my opinion. Like,
yeah, absolutely. I also, I every time I read a Superman comic book, I feel bad for Jerry Siegel, because the thing is always by permission of the Joe Shuster family, whatever, used by permission. Jerry Siegel is never mentioned.
He's not.
It says created by Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster, used by permission of the Joe Shuster. So they do name his name, but then they make a point to point out Joe Shuster again, because Jerry Siegel, I guess, had passed away when they came to the resolution,
to the table
to what to do.
So he doesn't have the same. They don't have the same sweetheart deal.
I don't know. If they do, they may get the same amount of money, but they don't get the same. It says Superman created by Joe Shuster and Jerry Siegel, but then it says used by permission of the Shuster
Jerry Siegel family. by special arrangement with the Jerry Siegel family.
Oh, then it's Joe's sister. Sorry, the other one.
Yeah.
I got it backwards.
So this is the one that's been not notated. I just pulled it up in the back of this week's issue of Superman Lex Luthor Special number 1, and the wording specifically is Superman created by Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster with special arrangement with the Jerry Siegel family.
Right.
So it's the Schuster family that's coming for it. So that might be something that's long overdue then.
Could be.
Because
it's only overseas. And the reason why it's overseas is because in 2013, the final decision on the Superman copyright was Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster do not have a right. DC does not have to give them the copyright to Superman. That was the final court case, and that was in 2013. Now, there was a point someone made a little bit earlier in that in the next 4 or 5 years, it's 75 years, exactly, 75 years from 19, no, not, it's more than 75 years. Yeah, but it's within like, it's going to happen like 3 to 4 years. Superman will be public
we're 5
domain.
years away. Mark Miller put something up saying we were like 4 or 6 years away, and he said if I start working now, this was something he talked about last year. Mm-hmm. He said if I start working now on the greatest Superman story ever written, I can space out my money and pay the greatest artist living to draw it and put out the best Superman story anyone's ever seen when it hits public domain. Just have it ready. Mm-hmm. You know, the day it hits public domain, put it in the solicitation.
Yep.
And can you imagine the guy who brought a Superman Red Sun coming back just to show himself up? That would be something.
Right.
But
and a year later, it'll happen with Batman. So
yeah, and even before then, King Kong will go into public domain.
Right, but again, it's going to be. I'm assuming it's going to be kind of like Mickey Mouse in that
highly contested and pushed back.
No, that they'll only be able to use when they first start the 1938 Superman.
No eye lasers, no flying.
Correct. It'll have to be cool. Whatever is in 1938.
No kryptonite, no fortress.
Exactly. So
that's still going to be. He's going to be running on power lines again, my dude.
Yeah, exactly.
There's some great story. Just do a straight up 1938 Superman fighting.
Because that's the way it is right now with Mickey Mouse. They can only use the Steamboat Willie Mickey Mouse. That's the only one that they can do right now. Dude,
that would be so dope, though.
Mm-hmm.
A Mark Miller you'd be seeing like the dirty side of 1938.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be wild. What's going on, Corbin? Multinational copyright has gotten very screwed up with the multinational corpse and flow of information. I can imagine so. Good grief. B.A. Turner, what's going on? Same thing happened with Marvel and Toby Spider-Man movies a long time ago. They were being sued over the same thing. It got worked out, but it did delay the first movie by a year. Then 9/11 happened. Oh, yeah. We can finally have a Superman versus Spoo.
Super Poo.
So Superman goes back to truth, justice, in the American way. Yeah, which is kind of wild because they have the whole truth, justice, and a better tomorrow, but you still see people write truth, justice, in the American way into the books. If you read them, it's one of those things like use it if you want to, don't if you don't kind of thing. But it's in the books. Still see it. I guess it just depends on the person, the moment, the story, whatever. I don't know what they're using to determine it. No idea.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see because obviously Warner Brothers is going to want to wrap up this thing quickly because they need to know what they're doing with the movie. At least in overseas, anyway. And
God, they got to. They got dude, it's officially February, so we're 1 month down.
Yep.
6 away. Getting close.
Yep.
Ooh wee, that time's flying by when you think back to how long since they first announced this.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be interesting. The suit looks good in that clip, by the way. Look form fitting, more form fitting than other stuff that we've seen. So I got Miller level ideas, yeah, for sure. Flicks and comics, what's going on? Hello. But yeah, I'm excited for it, cockeyed and all. I think it's going to work out fine. And last thing that really kicked off this week, hold on. Hope James Gunn doesn't say Superman represents the world and makes people lose their shit over that too. Superman's always represented the world.
The Martians will object.
Yeah. He always has. I don't think anybody will object. I mean, there's never not been a version of Superman that wasn't taking care of the world. Right. There's never not been. Like, let's do it. Like, looking at it in reverse order, we just had Tyler Hoechlin was flying in international waters, picking submarines out and telling the government, I'm not here to participate. I was just saving lives. Gotta go by. You got Zack Snyder Superman, like in Brazil, like saving people from a fire, and then fly over here and catch a rocket that explodes and go over here and save people from drowning in this country. Superman's always worldwide.
Evil says Fantastic Four teaser is supposed to drop on Good Morning America on the 4th. That would be
That's
Tuesday.
coming quick. Yeah, I hope we get that. I know they showed that little what's it called? Like concept footage, proof of concept footage. They showed that back at that D23 thing or something, and you get that split second with like Galactus looking in the window.
Right.
And that looked cool to me. The rest of it looks stupid. I would say I fear for AR. I know he's a big was it Christopher North? Ryan North,
Ryan North.
Fantastic Four fan. But I'm sure he'll love it no matter what.
He also writes Lower Decks, which is why.
That explains the love for him.
Correct. Speaking of Lower Decks, that's an IDW comic. They had some interesting things to say about Diamond this week.
Oh, God, yeah, go ahead.
IDW basically put out they had their earnings announcement this week, and in their earnings statement in the back, they basically said that depending on what happens with the Diamond bankruptcy, which we'll know within like 2 weeks by April, that depending on what happens, the idea of IDW as an entity going forward could be in jeopardy.
Yeah, like the total company.
Right.
So a lot. We found out that a lot of these companies, Boom, IDW, already had plans in the works to switch over to Penguin Random House or Lunar by June, July, something like that.
Boom was April. They moved it up to this week.
Up to ATAP. Yeah, and they're the ones that put out the notice saying like we were already in the works with this, and we had to move it up now. But that's awesome that they were able to, and they have books out and they're getting it. So I don't see why IDW would have an issue whatsoever if Boom's already showed us that there's a way.
But it's basically because the money that Diamond owes IDW, and
oh my God,
they're at the bottom of the list of the creditors when it comes, for how much money they're owed, even though they're owed a substantial amount. You
for
get
them.
Disney, who's owned like $9 million or whatever. You get all these. Yeah,
they owe Penguin Random House 9-point-something million. They owe Alliance Gaming an ungodly amount of money. I had to look up what Alliance Gaming was worth because they owed Alliance Gaming like triple like hundreds of millions of dollars, and Alliance Gaming was worth like 0.32 billion.
Yeah. So
I was wondering if if Alliance would be in trouble. Just a thought of my own, so I went and looked up what that company's worth was. But Diamond's done. Like they're officially done. This is it.
Yeah.
And end of an entire.
IDW says if we only end up getting pennies on the dollar or nothing, we may not be able to continue.
That's crazy. IDW puts out a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
they put out all the Godzilla stuff.
They do all your Godzilla stuff. They do all the Star Trek stuff.
I can tell you right now though, if they go under
the Teenage Mutant Ninjas Turtle stuff, I believe.
But if they go under, all of those properties will be the Power Ranger. No, they don't have Power Rangers. Boom. Those properties will be immediately scooped up by anybody.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's still unfortunate. You got creators that are feeding their families off working on those titles, and count however many people work at IDW. That's crazy.
Antarctic Press basically said we're doing no more creator work. They're doing all just reprints of manga stuff. So they're doing absolutely nothing with the creator-owned work anymore.
Oh crap! That's what's his name? Good gosh, his name's Larry, but he's got a comic book. It's like a sexy lady book called pink-haired, half-naked. One of the community members, who's a really good artist who helped us out with Comics Curing Cancer, donating his talent and his time. He actually did the most recent cover for him, but he does Kickstarter, but he also prints his books through Antarctic Press. Niobe is the name of the comic. But that's terrible news. Mm-hmm. But there's still Kickstarter until they find another way. With Diamond being the the sole outlet for all these tiny publishers. I don't expect tiny publishers to go away. It's just you're going to have a rough patch while you find what the new path is really. And I wonder who's going to pick it up. I'm assuming Penguin Random House would be the one since they're the larger of the two. I wouldn't expect Lunar to pick it up. What do you see happening? Oh, here we go.
The issue is it's the amount of money that is owed, that Diamond owes all of these small publishers, because they're getting money from the comic shops. That money is obviously doesn't seem like it's flowing to the publishers like it should be. And so it's I don't know.
Convoluted,
it's tough.
terrible.
Yeah, and it really is. It's all about cash flow. So some companies have a lot of reserve cash, and so things like this won't necessarily, it'll hurt them, but it won't necessarily put them out of business. Others are, just like people, there are businesses that run week to week, and if suddenly they're not getting paid by people,
Are you worried about tariffs because that will affect the comic industry, which is already hurting? Yes and no. I'm worried about them in a sense. Just like how I mentioned, like with the small publishers, like things will be bumpy until you find the new direction you're taking. That's our current. That's us in Canada's current economic status in a nutshell. I listened to I guess like the reverse prime minister elect, and then I listened to what's the guy who's campaigning to take his place. A lot of Canada is supporting this too, but he did like a very long press conference today that was on the World News Channel, and he was literally saying the same thing that we're hearing over here. Like after this, both countries, us and them, are talking about just shifting to your own resources. Canada has all the same resources that we have, and we just flip flop with each other for the benefit of God only knows who, and that's been the status quo forever. So what's happening now is shaking up the status quo, and it means use your own company's printing press. You think like we get comics from Canada, but don't think we can't print comics here. That's crazy. And Canada buys a lot of stuff from us, but don't think they can't get it from themselves. We are both fully capable of sustaining ourselves. And I don't understand the benefits or the harms of the trade stuff. I don't understand the trade stuff like that. But if something like that happens, it'll just be a shift to, just like with the publishers and the distribution, they would just be shifting to a different printer. It's happened countless times in the past. Comic companies have shifted to different printers and stuff. So
yeah, it may have
temporary price hike, and then it just goes back, or who knows? Could go cheaper.
It may have happened during COVID.
It did happen during COVID. And just here, what was it, like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, DC switched again to that crap paper compared to what they had. And it's not bad paper, but compared to what it had, it was like clear.
It's like the Marvel stuff where the cover is basically the same paper as page 1 and through 16.
Yeah. For one, Canada has more paper as a lumber. They're $1.30 weaker than ours. Yep. Just going to have to see how it plays out. I mean, I think all of these numbers and values are just arbitrary, to be honest with you, my man. In the grand scheme of things, it's arbitrary. And I think that's one of the problems that Canada and our country are now both currently, they sound like parrots of each other. What they're saying about moving forward, they want to do. And it's very arbitrary. But we'll see what happens. None of us truly know, to be honest with you. We can just, but that's just like the nature of life, isn't it? When something happens, no matter what it is, a brief moment of uncertainty, figuring out, and then shifting back to the path of least resistance. That's literally just life. But all I know is no matter what happens, everything's going to be okay. But that's the only option you got. It's the only option any of us got. What's going on, Entropy in Comics? Kev is in the building. Hope you're doing good, homie. Hope you've been hard at work this weekend, because I got a new episode I'm trying to watch from Friday night. He works on Real Time.
Oh.
He's one of the crew members over on Real Time. So I appreciate your work. As Paul knows, I'm a huge fan of I talk about it often with him. Prices will go up more. It costs more to produce stuff here than there. That's why companies buy from there rather than make it here. And that's actually the thing that's up for debate, which again, I won't even use our country as an example. I'll use Canada because like be too biased. Go listen to what the prime minister and that other guy said. It wouldn't be hard to look up and find him. He's talking about the tariff situation, and he literally lays out how you make it. Like, he laid out a 5-point plan and called to rescind Parliament to get it in order where it does, so that citizens don't feel the effects of the tariffs. It's mad simple the way he lays it out. Mad simple. You tariff these specific items, and then and the money that comes in from it, you pay for it, and then you place tax breaks on certain specific industries that are affected by tariffs, and that offsets your tariff. It was so freaking simple. And if anyone tries to make it sound complicated, it's because they want it to be complicated. A country can choose to tax break a business that's being hit with tariffs and offset it instantly.
Right.
Instantly.
Right. And part of the reason why for some countries it costs less is because they're paying their people ridiculously low amounts of money to do the stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Whoa! Don't be ageist. I'm just kidding.
Man.
I'm just kidding.
Wow.
Hey, Spectre, you're an esteemed gentleman. I could have sworn when I was a teenager, comics were printed in America, particularly in New York. Comics definitely work, because remember, Marvel bought out Malibu just to get the printing presses to compete with Image.
I wouldn't, because I'm an older gentleman and I fall asleep a lot.
Oh no! Oh no! Where's Pops? Pops watching?
Yes, I believe you're right. Yes.
Will this administration? Don't know. The answer to anything politically, I'd say I'm staying completely unbiased on that stuff, my guy. It's I would expect they would, just because if you have anybody with an ego, they don't want to be perceived as losing or whatever. So, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. And if they're honest with what they say, they want to bring everything back to America and do this, it would require doing that. So, I don't get like shocked or worried or anything about Quip It News headlines. We've been in a new little shift of leadership for like less than 2 weeks. So there hasn't been a single president that I've lived under that I'm like, I need to build a bunker in my backyard. I need to store canned goods. That this has never happened. I mean, I'm sure it could happen. There's a Great Depression over 100 years ago, but
man, I remember when that happened. Oh, no, never mind.
yeah, seriously doubt it. Seriously doubt it, man. The circumstances for that were crazy. Like, you remember, not firsthand, but you remember like one of the big driving factors for the Great Depression was the lack of food as well. Like the great dust storm came in and destroyed the Midwest. There's all kinds of stuff. The literal stock market crash, which we've seen that it's quite literally too big to fail now. We've seen what happens when the World Bank.
There was no regulation, and so like now they have the automatic stop trading if they think that things are going. If it goes down by a certain amount, they automatically halt trading, so you don't have a crash of the stock market anymore. You can have huge swings and you can lose a lot of points, but it's not going to crash like it did in 1929.
And the closest we ever come to that was 2008, and you saw firsthand what happens in a modern world. And you can watch The Big Short, you can watch Too Big to Fail, which was a phenomenal HBO documentary that they did on it, and the literal world came like the whole world would have crashed. That was like a worldwide event with our housing crash of 2008. And you saw who knows if they did the right thing or not, but they didn't let people go hungry. And that you can say that much. There you go. Cliff on Comics is on the job. They were printed in New York, right down the road from my current job. Oh my God. That reminds me, if y'all have never seen this wonderful dramedy with Anne Hathaway and Robert De Niro called The Intern, where Robert De Niro is a senior citizen. Like, it's only from a few years ago. He's that age, and he goes to work as an intern at this startup clothing company that Anne Hathaway started, and it's really good. But there's a point when he like gets in good with her and working, and she was wondering why at his age he wanted to get out and everything, and they're working after hours and talking and stuff, and he pointed out his wife died, and he always stayed busy, and he worked for like 40 years in a printing factory here in New York, printing the phone book, which don't even make anymore. She goes, really? That's crazy. He goes, yeah. And if you look right over there on the floor, you can still see the impression from where the printing machine sat. So he came back to work as an intern in the building in the exact place where he worked for his whole life. And it was,
Oh wow.
yeah, it's such a good movie. I've watched it numerous times. Highly recommend. Oh, good. The politicians are promising we won't even notice the very technical and complicated shenanigans they were up to. But that's the thing. Like the stuff I've watched, they're literally untechnicaling it. It's weird how when you say we're just going to keep it here, it's really simple. Because I'm telling you, and again, I'm referring to the Canadians because I know so many people are pro-Canadian on a lot of this stuff. So I'm referring to what they're saying. Just a simple 4-point plan. Pull back taxing on these unnecessary things, tax breaks for the companies that are getting hit with tariffs, and flow any kind of tariff profits that come in straight to the people so that they're not felt with any kind of momentary inflation, because they don't expect any inflation once they're producing all inside their own country, which that's what our country is saying, and that's what they say will happen with theirs.
You would be surprised. I was watching. I can't remember what it was, but it might have been a YouTube video, but it was like 30 minutes of this guy walking around talking to people about tariffs, and you would be surprised how many people did not understand that it's the receiving country that pays the tariffs. They think we tariff Canada, they're going to pay for everything. It's like, no, we're going to pay for the stuff when it comes to us. The companies are going to pay for it before they get it. And they're like, what?
What? You mean it's not just a bill we send them?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I love how everyone becomes an expert on anything that is in the headline instantly. Yeah, that blows my mind.
Yep,
I watch
exactly.
a lot of stuff. I'm one of those people that if I don't know something, I'm curious and I look. And again, I'm not telling you my opinion. I'm just repeating to you what was said that you can go look up yourself and get a better understanding of what Canada plans to do that they're very confident in. And yeah. Ripa just touched on this too. That's the first time I think we've had that's Eric July who wrote the
Rippaverse.
ISOM, yeah.
Mark's very familiar with that.
Well, I've read ISOM 1 and 2.
Right.
Yeah. But I'm curious to see what I think that he considers himself a libertarian. So it'd be pretty interesting to hear what his take on it is. He's one of the taxationist stuff, which I definitely don't disagree with. But yeah, we get a lot of cool stuff from taxes though. Wish there was a better way to have those things. But yeah, well, we swerved off of comic news into.
We certainly did.
I mean, I guess it's kind of hard not to. I mean, it's culturally relevant stuff, and it's definitely on a lot of people's minds. So no harm, no foul. But
yeah,
ultimately, I'm not worried about none of it.
I think it'll be interesting to watch the headlines, and it'll be it'll be interesting to keep talking to Paul about is this affecting you in any way as a business.
Yeah, most definitely. I know that they're they do a lot of the in-store gaming stuff, man. Like I was there Friday night, Saturday night, working on helping rebag and board and price out all those books to get them out quicker. And man, the whole store. I mean, he's got tables in there, and it was lit up. People playing all kinds of games. And I can't even imagine if the gaming stuff took a hit. He said that Alliance is a sister company to Diamond. Are they going to be okay?
I thought Alliance and another company had been purchased, or there was an offer for them to sell.
I don't know. That dude needed to start small and work his way up. He isn't a great writer. I've wrote half my wife, and I'm starting at several short stories. I wouldn't start with a universe. Yeah, to each their own. I think he's got room to improve, and I think he's done an impressive stuff. Life, not wife. It sounded cooler with wife, but yeah, I did the video on ISOM. You could check it out. I didn't know anything about it going into it. Just picked it up on a blind buy because it was pointed out to me that a fan-funded Kickstarter style book had raised that much money, and I bought it and read it and reviewed it kind of blind, and I think it had a lot of room for improvement, but it definitely wasn't bad. But I think he's done an impressive job putting together his own thing. A lot of people complain and don't do. You got to give him credit. He complained and then he did. Mm-hmm. I think he still complains about the industry, but that's fine. We all have our own little pros and cons, some more than others. Everyone's
You got-
entitled to their opinion.
And you got a couple of comments out of it too. So,
God, man, he's got some hardcore coat riders and hardcore pitchfork people after him. But that's cool. That's cool to have. Like, I mean, with great success comes great amount of haters, I guess. But yeah, let's get ready to do the Legion Loot giveaway. We're about 13 minutes till 10.
okay.
As a reminder, it's Aquaman month. We're celebrating Aquaman. Y'all know the guy who made riding seahorses cool.
And talking to fish because no one else would talk to him.
No one else. They lived a sad, lonely life. Yeah, that movie was so freaking awesome. I love them. I have a bunch of haters. That means you're doing something right. ISOM was decent, better than a lot of crap put out by the big two. I think ISOM was decent, and that's where I'd agree with that. I think people write off the big two too often. I bet you 80%, easily 80% of stuff coming out from DC right now is above par. Some well above par. But it's easy just to say, I don't know, the big two put out trash. They were more putting out, probably didn't have as good of a percentage rating a couple of years ago. And Marvel, I'm practically done with Marvel. I pull Hulk and Ghost Rider, and I'm not even over the moon happy with those a lot of the time. Well, Ghost Rider's solid. He's gonna like Ghost Rider's been solid for 2 years. Hulk, man, Immortal Hulk just, that was fire. Donny Cates was the worst ever. And the Philip Kennedy Johnson one is kind of floundering right now. Floundering. Oh, man, just won't buy it. Won't buy it. Man, I hate that. I hate that they did that to you. And I don't blame you. I blame them. It's up to the company to keep the fans. But I hate that they did that to you because right now they are back. They are back on their game in a way that they haven't been on since pre-Infinite Crisis. And it is amazing. It is good. So much love to these characters, care and consideration. They got good writers on the right characters. The universe is tight. Big things are happening. Man, I hate that for you. But good news is, Sledge, you hang out here so you get to keep up with the general consensus of what's going on anyway. So we're happy for you to live vicariously through us. And also, Sledge, you can always, me and Paul don't just do this show. We do the DC Comics Deep Dive on his channel. So like with the Absolute Comics, or if there's an event happening, we read it all. So we kind of just pick whatever's kind of most relevant. And we kind of just do an episode on like 1 or 2 issues kind of thing. And tomorrow we're talking about the Lex Luthor one-shot from this week and the most recent issue of Green Lantern. That's going to be the last issue before it splits into Green Lantern and Green Lantern Corps, because the story's gotten big enough to carry 2 titles for a while. And Jeremy Adams is writing that. Like he's Jeff Johns reincarnate. It's amazing.
And he's writing Aquaman.
And he's writing Aquaman, baby. Let's go. So this is what's going to be included in this month's Legion Loot. So I grabbed a couple more of these random foils. We got the Atom Project, which, man, I enjoyed this. Captain Atom in there with Ray Palmer, the Atom, as well as Ryan Cho, the Atom. Working on getting powers back in the right places. Then the next foil, Metamorpho's back for, I don't know if it's an ongoing. I think it's solicited as ongoing, but he'll be featured in the new Superman movie. So what a better time to get familiar with the character. Read issue 1, skip issue 2, and cross your fingers for issue 3, because this is not one of the titles in the top percentile. The first issue was great. Second issue was terrible. But here we go. Aquaman month. So I grabbed this because it's a John Romita Jr. cover from a while back, and it's just freaking rock and roll. John Romita Jr. rocks when he wants to. As long as he doesn't mail it in, he's going hardcore. And then we got Aquaman issue number 1 from 1986, featuring the first appearance of the blue suit Aquaman. Love that blue suit. And it was a 4-issue miniseries, so I went ahead and got all 4 issues. So you can read the entire series. Look who's back there.
Oh, Ocean Master. He might show up again in a second.
Yeah, that's a cool cover right there. How do you say it?
The Vitruvian Man.
Yeah, I love when you see these. We were talking about those a couple of weeks ago. The New Gods, which is freaking phenomenal right now, is doing an acetate cover for each issue. And on the back, it's called the Birth of a God variant, or Making of a God.
Birth of a New God.
Birth of a New God. You coming up here? Paul said, "Hey," and then we have the Nicola Scott variant. Did 12 of these featuring different characters, and of course you got the hook hand Aquaman on there, blue suit Aquaman, all the Aquaman on there from over the ages. Aquaman issue number 5 from the Chuck Dixon run right before it completely went kaput.
Chuck Brown.
I'm sorry, Chuck Brown. I said Chuck Dixon talking about the Rippaverse stuff, but this was actually a fun series. Recommend going out and getting it all. It's kind of just fast paced, kind of self-contained, kind of a sleeper agents are activated with Atlantean. It was cool with Atlantean origins, and Jackson, Arthur, and Black Manta all had to work together to shut it down and talk about a hodgepodge team. But I actually got this signed back in 2023. Picked it up in 2023 when he was here in Augusta, and it's just been sitting waiting on an Aquaman giveaway. Yeah, you can see.
Wait, what type of trident is that?
It's probably made out of water because Jackson, you see how his statues are lit up? You could control water like Mira.
We have Aquaman.
Mm-hmm.
And we have what's that type of thing?
That's his trident, his regular gold trident. And what kind is that? Does that look like the dark trident?
Dark trident.
Yeah, dark trident.
Water trident.
Yeah. And then we got the foily for Aquaman issue number 1.
Nice.
Written Jeremy Adams, illustrated by John Timms. Couldn't be more excited for this series. It was so flipping good. Here, hold this one up. And there's your reader copy for issue 1 of Aquaman. John Timms cover featuring that white background. They did this for all the titles when they hit the all-in era. Dude, that is such a wicked cover. All right. Now wait till you see you see that pop up. Hey, yeah, sure did. All right. You gonna hold this one up? We got 2 more to hold up. Then Aquaman issue 1, the blank.
Hold up the next one.
Yeah, give me 1 second. But it's fully decked out to the nines by our good buddy Izzy. So big shout out to Izzy. You can find him over on his channel too. He's got a YouTube channel called Izzyverse Comics with Izzyverse NYC. I know you won't remember that, so you have to rewind the show and pause it. But I asked him to do up the cover. He said, "What do you want?" I sent him the cover of Jason Momoa with the trident. Jason Momoa with the trident up. I said, "But just do blonde hair Aquaman when you do it." Finn, what does this say? What does that say?
Hello.
Who is that?
Pop.
Yeah, Pop's at home watching. He said, "Hey,
Hi,
monkey."
Papa.
There you go. And Joe said, "Hey, Finn. Hey, monkey."
Hi.
Yeah,
hello.
Izzy killed that cover. Yeah, he absolutely rocked it out. Oh, yeah. Pop said, I remember him being concerned about. So, back before the Amanda Waller thing took off, we were talking to Chuck at a booth at the AugustaCon 2 years
Can
ago.
I do this one?
Yeah, but hold on. And he said he was blah, 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 blah. I'm like, oh, you're talking about the Amanda Waller war. He's like, and he just goes, how do you know about that? Like, whispered it to me. I'm like, ha, 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 ha. So I confirmed that Absolute Power event well a year in advance of it happening. We still didn't get Rick Flag yet. All right, last but not least, Mama. Oh, you got to climb all the way up here, huh? Hold it up good. Here, hold on the sides. There you go, so it doesn't tip over. Boom! We got Aquaman issue number 29, Nick Cardy cover, featuring the first appearance of Ocean Master.
Right here.
Yeah, we got another copy. Yeah. So yeah, first appearance of Ocean Master. It's not a high grade, but it can be your grade. So that's an awesome key there. So that's all going to one lucky winner. Mark has 3 kids plus 60+ hour work week job and does YouTube. We're all lazy and sleep too much. Oh, I'll get the wheel up. You want to get the wheel up?
Yeah.
All right, give me 1 second.
Can I do the cards?
Give me 1 second. Oh, you want to do cards in them? All right, we're adding cosmic cards like we do on Tuesdays. So just as a reminder, I got all the Legionnaires' names on a wheel. So be sure to hit that join button to join the channel membership in the Legion tier. Get the loyalty badges next to your name, the custom emojis that you get access to, plus more. And if you join the Legion tier, get access to the Legion loot every month. And let me get this back over here.
Wheel, here we come.
Nice.
All right, let me pull the wheel up. So, Monkey, do you want to spin the wheel or pull the cards?
I want to spin the wheel.
All right, Monkey, get the cards. Finn, come around here.
Okay, how do I spin it?
Well, hold on. I'm going to shuffle it till Paul says stop.
Stop.
All right.
You know,
How does it go, Paul?
if you win, it's my fault. If you lose, it's Mark's fault.
Yeah, if you win, be sure to tell Paul a very specific thank you because he picked the shuffle. And if you lose, remember it's not my fault. All right. Hold on.
It's full.
All right, so let's go over here, Finn, get the mouse and click right in the middle where it says Legion. Good luck to everybody. Click it right there.
There you go.
And the winner for the January Legion loot is going to be
Oh, no.
ABX Comics. Congrats to Paul.
They're all going back to their original home.
Some of them.
That's the bookstore.
Oh,
Waterfall. It
All right,
goes
Mom.
to the ABS.
Let me get this
thing.
off of here. All right, Monk. You remember how to do it.
Yep. No peeking.
No peeking. All
Wait, can I pick?
congratulations, Paul.
Can I pick one of these?
right, pull two more. Oh, you got a good one. That worked. Look and wait till you look at Paul's shirt too. There you go. You got two. Pull them both. All right, pull one more. All right, let's see what cards.
I got two good. Boy.
All right, so you got Great Battles from DC Legends. That's getting added in there. And then you got Hawkwoman from Hawkworld on there.
Mm-hmm.
And last but not least, you got
Wonder
Boom.
Woman. Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman. And look at Paul's shirt.
Wonder Woman.
George Perez, Wonder Woman.
Yep, came prepared. Yeah, that's a cool one. That's a really cool one. Thanks enough for real and trick. Yo, he's a paying member like everyone else. Thank you for the spin stop, Paul. Yeah, big congrats to you. I appreciate everybody coming in and hanging out tonight. I don't think Paul needs one of these. Paul gave me these. They go in the car. All right, to bed. To bed. Thank y'all for your help. Thank you for your help. I'll come see you in a second. Quit trying to bite me. Couple cannibals. Appreciate everybody coming. No, go to bed and hanging out. It's we're right at 10 o'clock. Make sure y'all go check out the DC Deep Dive tomorrow at 10 a.m. It's on Paul's channel. And then after that, head right back over here and check out the new video that'll be posting at I'll post that for 10:30. So if you back-to-back viewership for you. And it's first Silver Age key of 2025. I beat the market, scored a killer deal, get some cool hunting advice in there. It's the same hunting advice I've been telling everybody forever, but check out that video. If you're a channel member, Vinny tier, you already have access to it. So be sure to check it out. And that's going to do it for tonight. Paul, you got anything else?
No. Have a great week. We will see you back here next week. Or we'll be up against the Super Bowl next week.
Oh, that'll be a good one. Until then, remember, we are Legion.
You want blood? Go get it!